Kyle Lowry has had a reputation, an earned reputation, of being a poor playoff performer. Last night did nothing to change that reputation. Lowry was 2 for 10 from the floor. He played 38 minutes and finished with a minus 28. Ryan, why has Lowry had trouble in this series, especially in Game 1 and Game 3?
Jacoby, every time that I come on this show, I'm always going to be honest. I'm going to be frank. I cannot lie to the people.
If you're in the Lowry family, you might want to change the channel.
Listen, Kyle Lowry is my guy, but I want you guys to know this. Kyle Lowry is a regular guy. He's 6'2". He doesn't jump out the gym. He's not a freak athlete. The best attribute that Kyle Lowry has is his toughness. The guy should not be an NBA All-Star. He shouldn't be anywhere, but he's so tough. He's so dedicated. He works his way into all the success that he's had. Shout out Kyle Lowry. But when now you're looking around and there are all these superhumans around you, 6'8", 6'9", jump out the gym, 6'6", shoot the ball from deep, 7'1" with a 3-ball, a post-up game and footwork. Kyle Lowry is the regular guy in this equation. So the one thing Kyle's going to have to do, he's going to have to think his way through these scenarios. And it may be a situation, if I'm Toronto, if I'm Coach Nick Nurse, I get the most out of my team where I believe playing through Marc Gasol. Why do I say that? One thing I remember about playing with Marc is he's essentially a point forward, point center, whatever you want to say. And Marc Gasol is going to make the right play every time down the floor. So I think you have to take that load off of Kyle Lowry, and that was the whole point of bringing in a Kawhi Leonard. But now in these moments, you have to have it from somewhere. And I think Kyle Lowry is better as your 4th or 5th option in these scenarios. He's still a good NBA player, but he's going against superhumans in Philadelphia right now.
It's a good point. Now, I like Kyle Lowry, and I do slander Kyle Lowry quite often in this program because I have this one question. What is Kyle Lowry elite at? Like, what is he one of the top 10 players in the league at?
Toughness.
Like, he's a pretty good shooter. He's a good passer. I think his assists have gone up this season because he had other options. The ascension of Siakam and the addition of Gasol has helped him. But he's really a 4th option kind of point guard. And there's something about the playoffs where he just doesn't show up. And it hurts his team. Now, Kawhi Leonard has solidified himself in these playoffs as a top player in the league. On both ends, he is excellent, and he has been dominant all throughout these playoffs. However, he cannot do it alone. And Kyle Lowry himself addressed the elephant in the room with the 76ers when he said this, quote, "We've got to help him. I was literally saying it during the game. We have to help him being Kawhi. He's doing everything he can possibly do offensively and defensively to bleep and win games. And myself, I'm not helping him enough. I'm not putting it on nobody else but me." Now, I love the accountability from Kyle Lowry there, but this is important because only Pascal Siakam has really performed well in these playoffs. And Kawhi Leonard is a free agent at the end of this year. And if he's looking around saying, I'm scoring 45, but I need more help, how do you think the Raptors can keep Kawhi Leonard if he's not getting help through this series and in the playoffs?
Well, Kawhi Leonard's going to be a Clipper. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. We're not going to we're not going to like sugarcoat this. We're not going to I guess we're going to break the news in the middle of the series. I mean, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. And
hold on. Hold on.
What?
You're a former Clipper. You're around the organization. I see you at Clipper games. Are you hearing things?
Listen. I'm just Ryan Hollins. I'm using my deductive reasoning, and I'm putting 2 and 2 together. Come on, man. Come on. And one thing we knew is that the playoffs were going to be life and death as far as where Kawhi Leonard lands. Very indicative. And if you look at the Los Angeles Clippers, we see arguably one of the greatest seasons we've seen out of a franchise in some time. Would you argue that point? One of the greatest seasons. And if you look at Toronto, Kawhi's going, it might be better at the crib, yo. Might be better at the crib.
Listen, I completely agree with you. I would guess that Kawhi Leonard would be a Clipper. However, This series isn't over. Let's not have recency bias. They're only down 2-1 in this series. Eventually, it's going to go back to Toronto. Toronto can win this series and can even win the East. If the Raptors go to the NBA Finals, do you still think that Kawhi Leonard would leave Toronto for Los Angeles?
That's not enough, because when you get smashed by the Warriors, you're going to be looking around, wondering, going, man, what am I doing here? You can make it all the way to the championship game, and nobody remembers the second place team. It's a very disappointing experience. And in the words of Ricky Bobby, if you're not first, you're last.
I love that movie so much. So not only has Kyle Lowry been playing poorly in this series and not helping Kawhi Leonard, let's just take a look at some of the bench production from Toronto. Remember, Toronto was so deep. They made their hay from their depth. But look at this now. This is the Raptors' bench production. Only 10 points per game, shooting 24% in the last 3 games. 18% from 3. What has happened to the strength of this team that was once the depth?
There's something called the NBA playoffs. What do I mean by that? In all 82 games, you need a bench. You need an entire roster that can come in, play quality, solid minutes to get you through. But the nice thing about the playoffs, you have rest. There's no reason for, somebody to take some load management in the playoffs or take time off. So your stars come to play. I can play you 48 minutes. I can play you extended time. Why? We have rest. There are no back-to-back playoff games. So now your bench does not have the same value, because guess what? They're playing against starters all game long. And if you talk about a top 7, Philadelphia arguably has the best 7 in basketball, or best 8 as far as a talent perspective comes into play.
I think the Golden State Warriors probably have the most talented 8, but you make a really good point. The Sixers definitely have the best sort of like top 8 in the East. Maybe the Celtics could make a case for it.